The shop gave your car back, you drove home, and you had no idea the oil change they just performed may have planted a slow-moving problem under your hood. Not because the tech was malicious, not because some corporate conspiracy decided to target you specifically, but because of something far more mundane and far more fixable. A $1 step, sometimes less, a step that takes under 60 seconds, that every experienced mechanic knows about, and that rushed service bays almost never perform. By the time you're done here, you'll understand exactly what it is, why it gets skipped, and how to verify for yourself that it was actually done. Let's be honest about something first. The overwhelming majority of mechanics are hardworking professionals under real economic pressure. Quick lube shops operate on flat rate economics, meaning a tech gets paid per job completed, not per hour on the clock. When volume is the business model, speed is survival. That context matters because what we're talking about here isn't villainy. It's physics meeting incentives, and the result is a small but consequential step that consistently falls through the cracks. The step is this. Before tossing the old oil, spend 30 seconds examining it, and when installing the new filter, lubricate the rubber gasket on top with a thin smear of fresh oil. Then torque the drain plug properly, using a new crush washer if the old one is compromised. That's it. That's the dollar fix. Simple, almost embarrassingly so. But the consequences of skipping any one of those three actions can range from a slow oil seep to a catastrophic engine failure that costs thousands. Here's where it gets interesting, because the evidence on this isn't anecdotal. Oil analysis labs, companies that process tens of thousands of used oil samples every year, consistently report that the single most telling inspection point in an oil change is the 30-second look at what came out. The color, the texture, the smell. That old oil is a report card on your engine's internal health, and most shops discard it without a glance. Consider what you're actually looking at when you drain used motor oil. Clean engine oil is amber, almost honey-toned when new. After a few thousand miles, it darkens, which is normal. That's combustion byproducts and heat doing their job. But if you look at that drained oil against a white paper towel and you see a milky grayish tinge, that's coolant intrusion. Your head gasket may be compromised. If the oil smells faintly, sweet rather than burnt and metallic, that's antifreeze mixing with the lubricant. And if you notice a faint whiff of raw fuel, not burn residue, but actual gasoline smell, that can indicate fuel dilution, which is especially relevant in direct injection engines running short trips. Pay attention to this number. Engine oil diluted with even 3% gasoline can lose up to 20% of its film strength at operating temperature. That means metal surfaces that should be separated by a protective layer are moving closer together. That faint metallic ticking you might hear on startup after letting a car sit, that's sometimes the sound of that diminished film at work. Wear is happening. It's slow and cumulative, but it's real. A mechanic who spends 30 seconds on that drain pan check, looking, smelling, spreading a drop on paper to check for silver metallic flecks, is giving you something no oil analysis lab report can match for speed and zero cost. Those metallic flakes, by the way, look almost like glitter under direct light. Fine, almost pretty, and genuinely alarming if you know what you're looking at. They indicate accelerated bearing or ring wear that an oil change alone cannot fix. Now here's the thing about the filter gasket, and this one matters even more for your immediate safety. Every spin-on oil filter has a rubber O-ring gasket at its base. That gasket creates the seal between the filter and the engine block. When you do an oil change, you remove the old filter. Sometimes, not always, but often enough to have a name in the trade, the old gasket sticks to the engine block instead of coming off with the filter. It's small, it's black. It blends into the engine surface. If you install the new filter without noticing the old gasket is still there, you now have two gaskets stacked on top of each other, trying to seal the same joint. That condition is called a double gasket, and the result is almost always the same. The joint cannot seal properly, oil begins weeping past the gaskets, and within a few hundred miles, you've got a significant leak. In the worst cases, the filter can spin partially loose under oil pressure and you lose oil rapidly. Drive long enough without noticing, and engine damage follows. Most experienced mechanics will tell you they check this every single time. And most do. But in a line of 12 cars queued at a busy Saturday morning shop, the check takes half a second, and that half second has a way of vanishing under pressure. The fix is to take your thumb and run it around the mounting surface on the engine block before threading on the new filter. If you feel two rubber rings, you stop. You remove the old gasket, you proceed. That's the entire protocol. Before installing the new filter, you take a little fresh oil on your fingertip and smear it around the new filter's gasket. This is widely known but widely skipped. The lubrication does two things. It allows you to tighten the filter to the proper snugness without over-torquing, and it helps the gasket compress evenly when oil pressure builds. Without that lubrication, the rubber can grab and twist during installation, creating an uneven seal. Most filters should be hand tightened to the gasket, then turned an additional 3/4 turn. That's it. Wrenching them on as hard as you can creates its own problems. You may crush the gasket unevenly, or you'll have a nightmare getting it off next time. Wait until you hear what the drain plug situation looks like, because this is where the dollar figure in the conversation actually comes from. Modern engines use one of two drain plug designs. The older and still common style uses a steel bolt threading into an aluminum oil pan. Aluminum is softer than steel. Every time that plug goes in and out, there's potential for thread wear. Most good shops check the plug threads and the pan threads visually every time. But the crush washer, the small soft copper or aluminum ring that sits under the drain plug head and deforms slightly to create a leak-free seal, is a wear item. It's designed to be replaced at every oil change, or at minimum every other one. Cost at a parts store? Under $1, often 25 cents. Here's what happens when that washer isn't replaced. The old washer has already deformed and compressed from the previous installation. When you reinstall the plug and torque it down, the plug may appear tight, but the washer isn't sealing with the same contact area it once did. Some shops use sealing compound as a workaround. Some retorque the old washer to compensate. And in many cases, this works fine for another cycle. But over time, the seal degrades. A slow seep develops, a drop here, 2 drops there. Not enough to trigger a warning light, but enough to gradually lower your oil level between changes. If you're someone who checks your oil level regularly, you'll catch it. The dipstick will read slightly below the full mark when it shouldn't be. If you're like most drivers who rely entirely on the shop to manage their fluids, you may be running a half-quart low by 3,500 miles and not know it. And that's not even the worst part, because a half-quart low in a 4-quart system is 12% reduced oil volume. In a turbocharged engine with an oil-fed center cartridge bearing spinning at upward of 150,000 RPM under boost, that 12% reduction in oil volume, combined with the heat load from hard driving, can push bearing temperatures into ranges where accelerated wear becomes real. Turbo failures often aren't dramatic explosions. They're gradual. A slight increase in bearing play, a faint whistle, smoke from the exhaust on deceleration that looks like morning condensation but lingers. By the time those symptoms appear, the damage has already been done for thousands of miles. Now, here's where we need to be fair to the service industry, because the picture isn't entirely one-sided. Many dealerships and independent shops do all 3 of these steps every time without exception. Certified master technicians take professional pride in it. And even the quick lube shops, the ones that often get the harshest criticism, have their own quality check protocols. Many of them photograph the drain area on a phone before closing the hood. Some have a checklist that a second tech signs off on. The flat rate pressure is real, but so is the institutional knowledge that a post-change oil leak blowback at their counter is more expensive than the 30 seconds it takes to prevent one. The honest reality is this: the steps we've been discussing are industry standard. They're in every service manual. The question isn't whether mechanics are taught them, they are. The question is whether at the end of a 9-hour shift, with a full queue, every tech performs every step on every car. The data on human attention under repetitive high-volume conditions suggests the answer is not always. This next part is going to make you check your own car this weekend. If you had your oil changed in the last 3,000 miles, here's what you can do right now with no tools and less than 5 minutes. Go to your car when the engine is cold. If it's been sitting overnight, even better. Kneel down and look under the car at the drain plug area. You're looking at the lowest point of the oil pan, at the bolt. Is there any dark staining on the pan surface around the plug? Any wet residue that catches the light differently from the dry metal around it? A single drop dried on the concrete under the parking spot? If you see any of that, wipe the area clean with a rag, drive normally for a week, and check again. If the seep returns, that's confirmation the seal is compromised. At that point, a shop visit to replace the crush washer and retorque the plug costs almost nothing if you catch it now. For the filter, look at the filter housing. It's cylindrical, typically black or blue or orange depending on brand, sitting on the side or front of the engine block depending on your vehicle. Look at the seam where the filter meets the engine. Run a clean white rag around that seam and check it for any trace of oil. Filter gasket leaks often don't drip. They seep and then get distributed as a fine mist by air movement in the engine bay, which makes them easy to miss until you run a rag across them. If your car has over 75,000 miles and you've been using the same quick lube shop for multiple years, this is worth doing today. Now, for the more thorough version of the 30-second oil inspection, the one that shops skip, you can approximate it yourself at your next home oil change or ask your shop specifically to do it. Before disposing of the old oil, pour a small amount onto a white paper towel. You're looking for 3 things: milkiness or gray streaking that indicates coolant, a sweet antifreeze smell that shouldn't be in used motor oil, and metallic sparkle when you hold the towel up to light. Any of those 3 is a reason to investigate further. A compression test, a coolant pressure test, or an oil analysis from a mail-in lab can tell you what that contamination actually means for your specific engine. Blackstone Laboratories and similar oil analysis services charge around $30 to $40 for a full panel. You mail them a sample, they tell you iron parts per million, aluminum parts per million, coolant markers, fuel dilution percentage for a high mileage engine or one showing any symptoms, ticking, smoke, fluctuating oil pressure. That analysis is one of the most cost-effective diagnostic tools available to a regular driver. If you're running a naturally aspirated engine with under 60,000 miles on a normal maintenance schedule and you're doing mostly highway driving, the conditional advice here is simple. Verify the 3 basics at your next service. Gasket lubricated, old gasket removed, crush washer replaced. Beyond that, your factory maintenance schedule is likely working fine, and a standard oil change from a competent shop covers your needs. If you're driving a turbocharged engine, a high mileage vehicle over 100,000 miles, or you're in a climate with extreme temperature swings, hot summers above 95 degrees or cold winters below 20, then the 30-second oil inspection becomes significantly more valuable to you. In those conditions, the margin for early detection of coolant intrusion or fuel dilution is much thinner. Problems develop faster. The paper towel test before every oil change costs nothing and takes less time than watching the shop tech enter your mileage into their system. And if you want to take this one step further, pick up a bag of crush washers for your specific drain plug at a parts store. They're sold in multi-packs for a few dollars. Bring one to your next oil change and ask the shop to use it. Most will do it without blinking. Some will already have one on hand. Either way, you've removed a variable. The physical action for this week: the next time you pass your parked car in daylight, take 10 seconds to crouch down and look under the drain plug. If it's dry and clean, great. You have one less thing to think about. If it isn't, you've caught something early that compound interest would have turned into a much larger bill. Drop a comment with what you find, or tell me which brand of filter your shop has been using on your car lately. I'm genuinely curious what's showing up on real vehicles at current mileages. And if you want to see the next round of testing, including what a used oil paper towel test actually looks like across 6 different engines with different wear profiles, subscribe so you don't miss it.